everyone, my name is Crystal, also known as the Book Gypsy, and today I am going to be wrapping up my November reading with the one book that I finished this month. The only book that I finished this month, but not the only book that I've been reading, is Sawkill Girls by Claire Legrand. This is my favorite book of the year. I definitely think this book put me into a reading slump as well because nothing that I picked up felt as good and fast-paced as Sawkill Girls. But I am currently reading another book, which I will get to, that is sort of giving me the same feels. I started that a couple days ago. So I just want to say that Sawkill Girls, if you have not read this book yet, please pick it up. I loved it. This book took me on a wild ride. I absolutely loved the female lead characters in this book. They were completely badass. The men in this book were something else, except for one of the girls' boyfriends in here. He was like the sweetest thing ever. But this book was just girl power all around, and I absolutely loved it. It definitely has a lot of more message behind the story. As much as it's a great fictional story, there's a lot of truth behind everything that has been told in this book, and if you really pay attention while you're reading, you can pick up on those elements and understand what Claire is trying to say. I want to say that this book is a feminist favorite. This is definitely for feminists, for women that are standing up for their rights. This book is that. So as much as it is a fantasy and fiction, it really has so much truth behind the story, and I loved it because girls kick ass. Any book that has girls kicking ass, I want to read it. And that brings me to my next book. As of now, which it is November 28th or something like that, 27th, I am reading A Big Ship at the Edge of the Universe. I am halfway through at this point and I am loving it. This book as well has a whole cast of female characters that are just kick ass. And I love it. I'm loving it so far. It is super fast paced. It is action packed. I don't want to put it down. I have to put it down because I have things I got to do as an adult, but I really cannot wait to finish reading this. I'm upset that I didn't get to finish more this month, but shit happens. Life gets in the way and you can't always have a successful reading month. I'm in the middle of so many books, but I just didn't get around to like really finishing them, and two of them I'm a little disappointed in, and I'm hoping that changes, but it just kind of dragged me into the mud with reading and slowed me down a whole lot. So one of the books that slowed me down a whole lot this month was Blue Lily, Lily Blue by Maggie Steivater. I want to like this series so badly. I'm halfway through this book, and you know, I would read like a chapter and have to put it down. I'm like, what is happening? Like, nothing is happening in this book, in this series. Like, Dream Thieves was great, but not much happened. Like, it was definitely based more on Ronan and what was going on with Ronan, but like, we gotta pick up the pace a little bit. I feel that this series probably would have done much better in a duology than a 4-part series. Because you know what, there's just so much filler in here that could be taken out and it would have been perfect as a duology. I truly believe that. So it's kind of hurting. It's kind of hurting getting through the 3rd book to get to the 4th book to find out what happened. And lastly, this book that I am currently reading is Muse of Nightmares by Laini Taylor. Strange to Dreamer was the best book I've read all year prior to reading Sawkill Girls, and it's still up there. I absolutely love Strange to Dreamer, but I'm having major issues with Muse of Nightmares. Not only the length, the ridiculous length, but the reading is over the top flowery. I don't know what's going on. I'm on part 4. I'm starting part 4, so that's 383 pages, and I don't know what's happening. I mean, I have the gist, and there's these two new main characters that have been thrown into the mix, Nova and Cora, and they're pretty interesting, but were they needed? I don't know. I guess I'll find out towards the end. But I don't know if anyone else felt this way, but I just felt like Laszlo has become too mushy, and he's definitely a sensitive boy, and he's sweet, but he's just like, I'm not loving Laszlo. I'm not loving the way that she wrote him in this book. I'm not loving the way she wrote Sarai in this book. And I hope something happens in the last 100 pages because I am very disappointed. Now, I don't know if I'm just... Lately, I'm feeling like my reading tastes are changing, and I'm headed more into the adult realm of reading, and I've been picking up more adult books and purchasing a lot more adult books because young adult hasn't really been, you know, my 5-star reads this year, besides Strange the Dreamer, obviously. But I'm not loving this. I'm really not loving this, and I'm really disappointed, and I am probably... you know, the unpopular opinion on this because so many people are fawning over this, but I don't know if people are going crazy because it was highly anticipated and everyone's reading it and people are just saying that they love it just because everyone else loved it. I don't know if that's what's happening, but I'm being honest. Strange the Dreamer, one of my favorite books. Muse of Nightmares, I would have been fine with just the one book. I really would have, because this is 380 something pages of nothing. I feel like I've read nothing. Yes, there's like some things that have been added to the story throughout, and it did continue from exactly the last point on where Strange the Dreamer had left off. But it's just not, it's not the sequel that I was looking for. It really is not. I thought it would be much darker than what it is, and I thought I'd see more growth with our characters, but there's not much. There has been, I did get through 2 huge deaths already so far. We'll see if they're still dead by the end of this book, but I'm just... I wanted to love it, but I'm struggle busing so bad on this book. So maybe I'll be done with it in December, but for right now, I'm putting it aside because it's really interfering with my reading. And I found myself reading this for like 3 weeks straight and not picking up anything else. And I'm like, I can't do this. Like, normally I could read 2 books in a week. Like, this is killing me, this book. So... let me know if any of you have felt that way. I know some of you have felt that way about Strange the Dreamer from the get-go, but Muse of Nightmares, I'm not happy. I'm not happy. And this is the problem that I had with reading Laini Taylor's first series, Daughter of Smoke and Bone series. I was enjoying the reading, but I'm like, what the hell am I reading? Like, where's the plot? Like, it's just like beautiful writing, but no plot for me. So... we shall see how this finishes off, and I will let you guys know, and I will update you, but I am not a fan. I also am currently finishing up, which I think I have like 2 hours left of this. I decided to film a little bit early, my November wrap-up, so by the time you see this, I will probably be done with this book, but I am listening on audio and reading along to Vengeful by V.E. Schwab, which, another book I am enjoying, but not as much as I thought I would for a sequel. I think it's... Vicious was such a great story about these 2 villains, I guess you could say, and battling against each other and wanting revenge against each other, and it was just great. And now Vengeful is just that, not much of that. It's new characters that came into the mix, and don't get me wrong, I love June. June is definitely one of my favorite characters ever. She's so cool. Her powers are so cool. But was it needed? I wanted to know more about what's gonna happen with Victor and Eli and Sydney and Mitch and, you know, the group and the doggy. What's the dog's name? I forgot the dog's name. Shit. So I wanted to, you know, hear more about them and their story, and then this Marcella chick gets thrown into mix, and in the beginning she was cool, but now I'm just like, enough already. Like, she's annoying. She's actually really annoying. And I felt like it could have been two separate stories. I felt like maybe Marcella's story could have been a novella to this series, and then we continued with Victor and Eli. So yeah, like, I just feel like it was rushed, and I love Victoria's writing, and she's still my favorite author, but I just felt like the story is kind of all over the place, and we shall see how it ends, and I will update you in a vlog my full thoughts on it. But as of right now, it's not a 5-star read for me. It's looking more on a 3 as of right now. I'm not very entertained by it, and I felt like it could have went a completely different direction, the story. So also, if you've read Vengeful, let me know your thoughts down below on what you thought of it. As of right now, for Victoria Schwab being my favorite author, I'm a little disappointed, that's all. So I'm definitely going to be a little bit harder than most people on the book, because I was highly anticipating this book for a while now. That is my November wrap up on my current reads. Definitely not a successful reading month. I am definitely not happy with what I was reading, but sometimes you don't like everything that you're reading. So I am looking forward to see what December brings me in the reading front. I will be super busy at work with a lot of things, and hopefully, you know, I will have some extra time to read at some point, some free time. I know the holidays, everybody gets really busy, and I'm pretty busy, but I would like to read instead of doing the things that I have to do for the holidays. But not everyone understands introverts, especially introverts that read, but that's me. I'd rather read than socialize sometimes. Anyway, so that is it. That is all I have for you today. If you like this video and you want to see more from me, please like and subscribe down below, and I will be talking to you guys soon. Bye!